Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. So today is something I don't do very often. I'm actually gonna do a product review. Now, I did pay for these. This is not like a gift or an ad or anything like that. I paid for these. But I'm kind of intrigued and interested, and I wanted to share my thoughts on these candles that I got. So many of you probably know I just got back from a Disney World vacation. And while I was there, particularly when I was there with my sister, we had a lot of conversations about the smells that are at Disney that just get to the core of memories and get to the core of emotions and feelings. And I went on Pirates of the Caribbean with her, and I said to her, I was like, the smell is just like instantly relaxes me. And I have no other way to describe it, and I couldn't articulate the aroma that it was. There was like hints of burning and wood, there were hints of marshmallow, but I couldn't put it all together. The popcorn smell is delicious as you walk by the popcorn carts. Yeah, and the classic in Epcot, Rome burning. Right? Like as you're in Spaceship Earth and, you know, there's that scene about the fall of Rome, and you're like sniffing. You're like a little puppy dog, right? You're like, there's just something about that smell that just like brings me back to my childhood and to a romanticized version of a place that doesn't exist for me in my day-to-day, but I hold very close in my heart. And that's the best way I can describe it. And we were talking about it and you know, how do we sort of like get in touch with those memories and get in touch with those feelings. And they do make candles that are designed to sort of like replicate some of the Disney smells. So I got home from vacation and I went on the Googles and I did a search for candles that smell like Disney World or parts of Disney World. And I came across this company. It's the Magic Candle Company. And it says, your magic is here. And this company specializes in making candles that are supposed to emulate smells from attractions and parks. So I figured I'd give it a try. I would give it a try. So I did open the box already because I got a little ahead of myself and I got a little excited. But I did get 3 candles. So this is kind of how it was packaged. It had the bubble wrap around the candle like this, and it did have some paper in there to keep them from like sliding around. So it was definitely well packaged, and I do like this box. It's like very poppy and colorful and like inviting, like, ooh, there's magic in there. Like, I like the packaging on this a lot. So it did come in this bubble wrap, and then it's like got that kind of resealable sticky bubble wrapness to it, and it's like this. So I got 3 candles, and I figured let's give them a sniff and let's see what I think of them. Since it's so close to my vacation, I'm hoping that like it'll translate really well. Like my brain should get it because I was just there. So let me show you the ones that I got. Let's start there. So like I said, I got 3 candles. This first one is called Haunted, which I think is supposed to sort of give you vibes of the Haunted Mansion. Then the next one I got, Pirate Life. And the third one I got here, this one is Rome Burning. So something interesting about these candles is that they use a combination of soy and paraffin wax for the candles, and they use a wood wick. So it's got this wooden wick in the center of the candle, as opposed to it being like that classic 3-wick candle that we're so used to. This has a wooden wick in the center. So I found that really interesting. And if you look at their website, which I'll put a link to in the description, They have a whole sort of like FAQ about how come they use wood wicks and how come they chose the waxes that they chose. So that being said, let's start sniffing. Let's start sniffing. Where should we start? Let's start with haunted. Here's haunted. The description of haunted is this haunted fragrance features a ghostly combination of cedarwood and classic vanilla that is beloved by happy haunts. Well then, let's see. I like it. Definitely heavy on the cedarwood. It has that sort of like old Victorian home kind of smell. I can't necessarily recall being in the haunted mansion and being aware of the smell that's associated with, but this smell makes sense to be with a haunted mansion. Like, does that make sense? I can't say like, oh, the haunted mansion smells like, I don't know, vanilla, but I wouldn't be able to identify that. But in smelling this candle, like particularly the stretching room and the study, like when you first walk in, yeah, kind of like old building, but not like gross old building, but like wood, like yeah, I could see that. I can definitely see that. Okay. We got two more. We got Pirate's Life or Rome Burning. Where do we go next? Let's go to Pirate's Life. So Pirate's Life. They had a few pirate candles, and I wasn't sure which one to get. So I got this one called Pirate's Life. But on the website, you'll see there's like two, maybe three. There were a couple. I don't remember exactly how many, but they did have multiple pirate candles. And the way this one is described is Pirate's Life features pleasant notes of ocean air, fresh rain, and a salty sea breeze. I mean, it smells delicious, but it's not the smells I personally associate with Pirates of the Caribbean. So let's see. Ooh. Okay, so very bright, very fresh. Definitely it's like being on the beach. Yeah, it's like a very beachy, not a suntan lotion-y smell, but like an ocean-y smell. And like, this is weird to say, but it kind of reminds me of Speed Stick. Like the deodorant, that fresh oceany, I don't know how else to describe this. But that is the smell it unlocks in my brain, is like, it reminds me of Speed Stick. It does not remind me of Pirates of the Caribbean. It is a good smell. It is a good smelling candle. But this is not unlocking the memory center I have for Pirates of the Caribbean. For me, Pirates of the Caribbean, the smell that gets me the most is that scene when like Tortuga is like in chaos and they're like chasing everybody and like have like rolling pins and they're going in circles and they're chasing everyone. There's like this blast of like a marshmallow smell, but that marshmallow smell starts to intermingle with all these other smells. And that's what I have in my mind when I think of Pirates of the Caribbean and the smell associated with it. This, I would say, like, if we're going to talk in the context of the ride, the beginning of the ride, you know, when it's those scenes of like foreboding and then it takes your picture, like that area, that I could see associated with this smell. But it is not the place that my brain goes when I think of Pirates of the Caribbean. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my mind. So that's Pirate's Life. Last but not least, I got Rome Burning. Okay, I got high hopes. I have really high hopes. in my mind, this is an extraordinarily well-known scene, and either you get it or you don't get it. So let's see. So the way it's described, Rome burning gives off an aroma of burning embers that is surprisingly delightful. Okay, let's give it a sniff. Come on. Oh my gosh. Y'all, they nailed it. They nailed it. They nailed it. This smells like Rome burning in Spaceship Earth at Epcot. This smells like the fall of Rome. Oh my goodness. Spot on. Spot on. Spot on. It's not a misnomer. It's very accurate. This smells like that scene in Spaceship Earth. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Why don't we light it? Let's see how she burns. Okay, I was in the middle of cleaning my kitchen, so the burners are in the wash right now, so just don't worry about that. But I always burn my candles just on the stove, so that way I know it's a fire safe kind of spot. Ooh, look at that wood wick. Oh, it's all crackly. Look at this. Well, it's like the way a campfire is kind of alive a little bit. It's flickering like that. So I have this burning for a little while, and I will say I really do enjoy the wooden wick and watching the flame sort of dance a little bit. But I also am noticing that it's not melting to the edges. See, it's like it melts in the center, but it's not melting all the way to the edges. And I think I've had it lit for about 20 minutes or so. So I would think within 20 minutes it would melt to the edges, and it has not done so yet. But it does smell delightful in here. It's not as strong as the 3-wick candles, but it is enough that it is giving off that aroma through my apartment. So it's delicious. It smells just as good when the candle's lit as the candle smelled in its unlit state. As far as, you know, my thoughts on these candles in general, so far so good. I will say it's sort of like a little bit hit and miss on if they are triggering my memory for park specific things. Like I mentioned, the Pirates of the Caribbean, yes, it is an ocean smell, but it's not the smell that triggers my personal memories. So it's a little bit hit and miss in that regard. But even when it's a miss, it still smells delicious. It's still a really great smelling candle. So I have no problem with the scent. It's just because these candles are supposed to correlate to the smells of the rides and attractions and things that they are going along with. That's why I'm mentioning that. But that does not negate the fact that like this pirate candle still smells deliciously of ocean air, right? So that's what I have to say about that. So I'll put a link to this candle company in my description of this video if you're interested. Again, this is not sponsored. I made this purchase on my own. I was just curious and I bought this stuff, and I'm just letting you know what I think of it. And with that, I am done. I will see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.